Hey there, fellow gamers. Welcome back to Dapper Dan Games. Today I'm going to talk to you about some basic strategy for the Pokemon trading card game. Now, bit disclaimer: this isn't going to be in-depth strategy. Don't come here if you're looking for super in-depth deck analysis or metagame analysis or anything like that. There are plenty of other fantastic places to go to check that out, and I'll put those in my resource video coming up. Um, but what I want to talk to you today about is some basic mechanics and some basic ideas to keep in mind when you're playing the Pokemon trading card game to kind of give you a head start in playing and knowing what's important and what's not. So today I'm going to talk to you about the importance of supporters in the Pokemon trading card game. Now, the thing about the Pokemon trading card game is that it has a bit of a problem. It is prone to having a ton of dead cards in your hand, whether it be a basic Pokemon that you don't want to play on the field, or an evolution that you don't have the basic Pokemon in play for, or just an extra Pokemon in your hand that you don't have space for on your bench, or anything like that. You can even have trainers that are just not doing you any good in your hand, and you just need to get rid of them. So, the way the game kind of fixes that is by the creation of this kind of card called supporters. Now, the thing about supporters is that you can only play one of them a turn. However, generally that's good enough. Well, I mean, it's great if you could play them more than once, but they're pretty good, so it's a reasonable thing to only play one a turn. What they do is increase your ability to get the cards you want in your hand, whether it be by drawing extra cards, by searching out certain cards, by looking at top cards of your deck and choosing what you want. Different things like that is what kind of creates a supporter. They're all designed to really net you a certain amount of cards. So it is very important to know what the supporters are in your current format and to know what the good ones are and to be able to play them, because these are a very important card. They are what make your deck consistent and makes your deck stable in a way, so that you can constantly and consistently get the cards you need. So I'm going to talk about a few of the Pokemon supporters that are currently in our format and talk to you about a little bit why they're good, so you kind of get an idea of what to look for. One of the really good ones, in fact, maybe the best, is Professor Juniper. Professor Juniper has a really simple effect. Just discard your hand and draw 7 cards. So it's pretty simple, but anyone who's played any other trading card game will know how powerful that effect is. Most of the time, an effect of discard your hand, draw 7 cards is not easy to come by, especially not for something you can just do for free once per turn. It's great because you can take some dead cards in your hand that aren't doing you any good and just discard them and get rid of them so you don't have to worry about them, and then completely refresh your hand with a brand new set of 7 cards. The next one I want to talk to you about is N. N is his effect is that both players shuffle their hands in their deck and then draw a number of cards equal to the number of prizes they have left. N is one of the best cards right now, and because of the fact that he kind of serves a dual purpose. You can either use him at the beginning of the game to refresh your hand. You have played a bunch of cards in your hand and you need some new cards. You just play it, shuffle the rest of your cards in your hand, and then 6 new cards since the beginning of the game. And you can also use that at the beginning of the game if you feel like your opponent has a good hand. You can play that, make them shuffle it back in, and then potentially mess them over. But then it really shines in later in the game when maybe you have 3 prizes and your opponent has 1. So you play your hand down, and then you just play an N, shuffle your hand back in your deck, draw 3 cards, and then your opponent has to shuffle their hand back in their deck and only draw 1. meaning that if they were planning on doing something next turn with their hand of cards, that has been seriously disrupted. So it's a great card in that manner. And then another card I want to touch upon that's not quite as good as the other ones, but still a good solid card to start out with, is Cheren. Its effect is pretty simple. Draw 3 cards. The great thing about this is just there's no downside. You don't have to get rid of cards in your hand. If you want to keep some cards in there, it's pretty easy to do. Just draw 3 cards. It's just real quick, easy card advantage. So now, when it comes to this game, you want to make sure in your deck that you can draw supporters consistently. Ideally, you should be able to play a supporter every turn. That way you can constantly refresh your hand, constantly put new cards and grab new cards into your hand so that you always have something new in play, and you don't have to worry about getting a stale hand. So when you design your deck, you want to make sure you'll be able to have a supporter every turn. Now also bear in mind though is that since you only play one a turn, you don't want to put too many supporters. I don't know, I'm thinking maybe 12 or 16 would be a good number to have in your deck. Maybe lean more towards 12. But something that you can do fairly consistently. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Check out my next Pokemon strategy video. We'll talk about retreat costs, the importance of being able to switch out your Pokemon consistently. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.